Hey there. Today is the 12th of December 2022, and today is the 25th anniversary of me having a mental breakdown. Yeah, it's interesting. In 1997, after what seems like a long time of just working like crazy and worrying about everybody, trying to fix everything around me, trying to be whatever it is everybody else thought I should be, and just caring too much about everybody and trying to be perfect all the time just got the best of me, and I reached a point where, what do I say? You know that phrase, the straw that broke the camel's back, that I just put so much on myself unnecessarily that it just broke me, and I had a breakdown, and I actually spent 12 days in a behavioral health hospital, and for a long time I really felt like that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. And even the months following that, I would look back on it and there was just nothing positive that I could get in it. It just brought back all types of negative emotions and anger, and hostility, and just wasn't good, wasn't pleasant. But now, 25 years later, I look back on it and I'm happy to say that those negative feelings that I once held so tightly, I no longer have. I do believe that everything happens to you for a reason, and there's something that you can learn from the experiences that you have, and there's good that can come from it. And even though it was something bad that I felt was happening to me, it at least put me in a position to be able to share my experience and my learnings with others, so hopefully they could avoid some of the mistakes that I made. I should also say that I considered myself having learned what went wrong, but it took me a while to learn it all, because I had this break in 97, and I had another break in 2005, and another one in 2013. So I was kind of on this 8-year cycle. And as it turned out, it just happened to be that those 8 years, I was always under a great deal of pressure that I had allowed myself to put myself in, and sustained it over a very long period of time. And so it just always ended up being the straw that broke the camel's back again. And so, with each time that happened, I found myself somewhat devastated by it, because it's not, I just felt like when it happened the first time, I didn't really I had no understanding whatsoever. I knew nothing about even potential mental health issues. And so I didn't see it coming. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what to think about it. I didn't know, I felt embarrassed, ashamed, all of these things. And it took me a while to even know how to help myself out of that situation. And I didn't really feel like people around me understood and that I can confide in them or really get a lot of help from them. But over the years, especially with things happening a couple times, I was able to learn different things. And ultimately, what I learned is, when I let a lot of negativity into my life, and it could be too many people being critical of the choices that I make and me actually allowing them to have a voice in my life, creating headache for me unnecessarily. If I allow them to be that annoyance in my life and I somehow feel like I need to better align myself with what other people think or what other people want for me, that creates undue and unnecessary pressure and stress on me. On the work front, I used to be the type of person that I was just like, I just did what I had to do to get the job done, regardless of, how much support I had or didn't have. I would just push through. So I had to learn not to do that, to set boundaries for myself and to not play this role of where I've got to be the hero and just see it through or kind of play the martyr and just take on everything. So I don't do that anymore, but that took some getting used to and some adjustment. And I'm no longer, I used to be fixated on understanding what everybody thought of me, especially those that didn't think highly of me in a work setting or, expected me to fail. I would look to understand those things and then, try my best to show up in a different way and prove them wrong, which is very different from just, being the best, doing the best that you can within your constraints, right? Meaning there's, I don't have to work 50, 60 hour weeks. It just isn't necessary. I'm going to work a 40-hour week and I'm going to do the best I possibly can with the resources that are given to me. And I'm going to learn how to prioritize. And if somebody tries to stack more on me, I'm going to say, okay, well, I've got this on my plate, these things, and these things were important. And now if you want me to do X, Y, and Z, something's going to have to go away. So, much better about that. And then just in terms of recognizing that I can be or could be my own worst enemy, recognizing this negative talk that you have in your head, and letting your insecurities get the best of you. All those things combined just are very negative. And I found that they weighed me down. And I learned that negativity is really like a kryptonite for me. If I find myself around people that are negative, like people that sit around and gossip and criticize or even are like, woe is me type of folks, that negative energy just gives me a headache and I gotta run from it, because I'm like, I know it's like a poison that can just take over you. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm very deliberate these days on just focusing on positivity and gratitude, and being very intentional about how I think about things, and keeping things in perspective, and not letting other people's problems be my problem. And that keeps me from taking things personally and beating myself up. And so I think taking negativity out of the equation has really helped me a lot. I wake up every morning and I say my prayers, and I read the Bible, and I do exercise, and I'm doing things very intentionally to lead with positivity, right? And to do good things for my mind, for my spirit, for my body, so that when stressful situations come up in my life, that I'm prepared for them. It's almost like I've got it's like I'm storing up all the energy that's necessary to be able to deal with those situations, because they will come. You can't go through life without having any stressful situation. You probably can't go through life with absolutely nothing negative that happens, but if you have a positive outlook, and you're being good to yourself, and you're prioritizing yourself, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional well-being, then you put yourself in the best position to be able to conquer anything negative that comes your way. So I'm excited now to say that I no longer live in fear of this something bad happening to me mentally. I'm happy every day and thankful every day to wake up in my right mind, and I trust that everything that I've been through in life, that I've learned what I was supposed to learn on the mental health front anyway, to stay sane, to stay encouraged, to stay positive, to stay healthy, period. Like I said, I was on this cycle of every 8 years something would happen, and so the 8-year cycle for me would have been in 2021, and so here we are, December 2022. We're almost at 2023, so I'm like almost 2 years past that 8-year mark. And I'm happy to be here and to be able to celebrate that I got past this thing. A lot of people think if you have any type of mental health issue, if you've been diagnosed with something, that, the cure for you, or it's kind of like there is no cure, and that you need to be on medication for the rest of your life. And not to say that I've never taken any medication. Obviously, if you have a migraine headache, and you're dealing with a lot of pain, you're going to take something, or you've got some infection or something and you need to take an antibiotic. There's always going to be situations that come up where you have something that is causing you pain, or something's not right, and there is some medication that is going to help you get past this. So for me, I did take medication back in 97 and part of 98 until I was able to get past it. In 2005, when it happened to me again, I did take medication for a little while, not that long. And then in 2013, when that happened, and I was hospitalized each one of these times. So in the hospital, I did take medication, but I have not since then. There was a time that I used to get a certain amount of anxiety just thinking about it, or there would be situations that were triggering, and I would get a certain amount of anxiety. And so I did for a while, just had some medications that I kept in my safe, like just in case I might need something. But I've never been one where it's never been a situation where I needed to treat this thing like it was a chronic condition as opposed to acute. So I'm thankful that I've gotten past all of that, and I'm thankful today, 25 years later, to be able to say, I think I've gotten past this. I'm actually confident that I've got past it, and that I've learned what it is that I needed to learn, and I've put myself in the best position possible not to have to deal with a mental health issue for myself anyway, ever again. I'm thankful to be in a position to be able to share with other people things that I've learned, and kind of like tips and tricks that I use for myself, just to keep myself in the right headspace. Yeah, so that's where I am. 25 years. 25-year anniversary of my going crazy, and I'm happy to say that I'm not crazy today. And I haven't been in years, and hopefully I will never ever be again. So that's my share for this morning. See you later.